Oh, we're already doing this?
Unless you don't want to do it.
Oh, shoot. I didn't know we were in.
Let's me before I knew they were in. We're just like,
Hey,
say we're in. Say we're in.
we're in. Yeah, your good side. Tell me we're in.
We're in.
You like this move?
I don't know if I have a good side.
All right, let's do a podcast.
Unidentical.
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 Welcome back to the Unidentical podcast with me, Jason Collins, and my co-host here, as always,
David Calling.
and don't forget super producer Solo Man in the house. We are doing this from the podcast place here in Long Beach, California. Make sure you rate and review at Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, wherever it is that you download your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating. Give us a review. Helps us out. We're always on YouTube at Identical Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know what's coming at you.
Do it.
And this episode, we are in the week of the 23rd through the 29th. So I'm in Vegas right now, technically.
So
We shot this before,
8.
so we're time traveling. I am in Vegas. If you're here, come this weekend to Brad Garrett's Comedy Club at MGM Grand. And since this is a later episode, also I just want to thank everybody that came out to the Stir Crazy Comedy Club in Glendale, Arizona. Again, I'm time traveling. When I do the road, we're gonna have to record a little earlier than usual, and that's what we're doing now because we want to make sure you have an episode every week.
That's right.
Because we're good dudes.
Trying to be consistent.
Yes.
What do you always say? Efficiency.
Efficiency.
Mine is consistency.
The word of the day. I would always tell Brent Morton when we were on the road, Brent, what's the word of the weekend? Efficiency. Be efficient. And he never was. But I love him.
Sounds like you need to do that in the German accent, though.
Right.
Efficiency. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
How do you,
I don't know either.
that was pretty good, though. Doing good.
I
Remember that kid last night at the show that was talking about the German stuff?
yeah.
I can't even remember. What was his...
Which show?
Last night, the one... we're talking about a show that I did.
Last night. Let's do that. Let's start with that.
I
We
did
had
a
night. It
show
was fun.
on the 17th of October at the Hollywood Improv in the Lab with one of my best friends in the game, John Campanelli. If you don't know who John Campanelli is, follow that dude on all socials. John Campanelli 1 is where you can find him on his social media stuff.
1.
But yeah, he lives in New York, but every once in a while he comes to LA and he puts on a great show there at the Lab.
Good guy.
So I'm on that show, but there was an interesting show.
Right.
What was your take on it? How'd you?
Some of the guys were a couple of beginners, you know what I mean? Which were
John,
one beginner was quite good. I thought. I don't know if she seemed like she was new at the game, but I thought
one
she did a great job. She had the braids.
You could say black girl.
Sure, she was black girl, but
That girl was really good.
yeah,
I
there was
wish I
another
remembered
guy
her
that was
name.
not so much good. He was.
But there was the really white guy, the European kid with the
Oh,
blue,
the Dodger shirt.
Yeah, that kid.
And you complimented on his shirt, and he had no idea what it was.
Well, no, you did.
Oh, that's right.
Because you said, "Hey, because you're a big Dodgers fan," and you
Oh,
said
right. I
something
said,
about
"Oh, yeah,
it.
we got swept," and he's like, "My wife maybe."
I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
I am from countries.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, I don't know what it is. My wife told me to get it. She said it was American.
He said it would make him look American. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. But
That
yeah,
kid's funny, but he's brand new. And but what we were talking about on the car on the way here was the vibe of the room and how a lot of comedians were pointing it out.
some of the more seasoned guys thought the room was really bad. They were kind of shitting on the crowd a little also a little bit of the structure of the room, in fact, was being talked bad about too. But a lot of room blaming, a lot of
There's a lot of that in stand-up.
Yeah.
However,
Now-
if you've been doing stand-up long enough and you know anything about the Hollywood Improv, the Improv Lab can go either way. It can be just horrible,
yeah.
or it can be phenomenal. Last night, in my opinion, it was middle of the road.
Are we talking about the crowd or what?
Not even it's not. It could be the crowd, but in my opinion, it's not their fault. There's something about like any club that has a main room
Mm-hmm.
and then a little side room. There's something about that side room that you feel like, I don't know. I don't know if this is the case, but maybe they feel like they're in timeout and they're not at the real show next door. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
So sometimes they're really shy to laugh. and they do the inside laugh, and then you get a lot of silence. Like my buddy Derek Mio, follow him as well. Derek Mio is great. He hosted the show, and of course, when you host the show, you go up cold. You got to go up. You go up cold to a cold audience that's just got there. They just got their drinks. They're just settling in, and he's a funny dude. And this is just things weren't hitting at all.
No.
But he was hilarious about it.
Yeah,
He's like, "What do you want from me?"
Yeah, he was,
you know.
he was funny about it. Yeah.
But so it's a little cold, and sometimes when the room's not full, I think maybe subconsciously the audience gets a little self-conscious about that.
Like they don't want to be the only one laughing.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can't hide in the crowd.
right.
Right.
And so there was a little bit of that going on throughout the show, and then John Campanelli and myself, we closed it out. I did something like 20 minutes or something, and
Now, let me say something.
he did an hour, I think.
And again, I'm proud of my brother, yes, and of course, I'm always gonna be like on your team.
Mm-hmm.
But
Team Jaybird.
I have to. But it was realistically when you came up, it was kind of like that's a professional. That's how professional. And the crowd was going. They went from subdued to loud,
Yeah, they went from 0 to 100.
and
Really?
a good loud, the loud that you want. But they're
And
laughing.
here's why.
Mm.
I'm not going to toot my own horn and say I'm the best
Toot.
comic on the show.
Toot, toot.
However, I've gotten to a point in my career, and in my career and in my life, where you kind of have this I don't give a fuck attitude. I'm too old to be
Yeah.
embarrassed kind of vibe.
Mhm.
So when I go up there, because it wasn't like I stepped on stage and next thing you know, this was a rock concert. It wasn't that at all. I had to warm them up as
Yeah,
well.
But
But in warming them up, what happens with a lot of comedians is when they don't get that first laugh, you could tell that it like
Bugs them.
jars them a little bit, like, ooh, like it throws them off a little bit. Whereas me, I live in the silence. I love it. I take Chappelle's advice on that. Dave Chappelle loves the silence, and he lives in that shit.
right.
I mean, I don't know how many times you've seen Dave Chappelle do stand-up. There are times when he'll sit quietly thinking, and it's silent. But the thing is, they're listening.
If it's silent, they're listening. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a problem if they just started talking amongst themselves because they didn't give. But you got them in the palm of your hand. They're on the edge of their seats. What's this guy going to say next? You know?
Oh yeah.
So I have that going for me where I'm like, I'm experienced enough to know that didn't work, but this doesn't mean this is how the whole set's going to go.
Right.
Also, I hate saying I'm almost like it doesn't, like I don't care. Like, because I don't think, this sounds so cocky. I don't think, but I know that things I'm saying are funny. And I know that they're funny because when I thought of it, it made me fucking laugh.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and you know what is a good barometer for me to know when something's that I'm doing is funny or not is if David laughs. If
I don't know though, because I'm more obscure with shit.
But I love it. But if I can get my brother to laugh because I know he's smart as hell, I
You
got
keep saying that. Just because I read some books doesn't make me that smart.
Smarter than me. What's a book?
So do you go to all his shows, David?
No, I haven't gone. I used to a lot, but last night I was excited because it was one of my outings that I do now.
We talked about that a little last night. When I first started doing stand-up, I didn't want any friends or family to come see me at all except my brother. Like, I wasn't ready for them to see me.
Mm-hmm.
But I always wanted David there because I wasn't worried about failing in front of him. I guess, yeah, I wasn't really nervous or worried about failing in front of him. It was more like, oh, I got a safety net when my brother's here with me. Like I feel safe.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we have the same sense of humor. And I know that he's going to give me notes. My brother is one of the few non-comedians who give incredibly funny and good tags and notes to comics. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, when a comic has a joke, you think, oh, it would have been funny if he said this thing after that. And a lot of people like to come up to me and give me them. And usually they suck. And it's usually their sense of humor. It's something that, and I'm like, that's something that you would say. I wouldn't say that.
Right.
However, anything Dave would say, I'd probably say it. There's a lot of shit that I say that he wouldn't say. But usually if it's a tag from him, I'm like, oh, he knows my voice.
Right.
But you're also really good at other people. Like John Campanelli had a bit last night where he was talking about it's weird to have an American flag on your house.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And at the end, it's a hilarious joke. But then the tag that David said, he's like, he should have said it's like living in a miniature embassy. I thought that was just.
They live in a little embassy.
I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I wouldn't have anybody watch me for the first, almost over the first year.
It was a while, yeah.
And I didn't want my wife to see because obviously I don't want to fail in front of my wife, you know. But like with David, I was like, that wasn't even a thought.
Yeah.
And it was that support system, which I'm super lucky because a lot of guys that start, they're just alone in it. And they do a show and have a shitty set and they just get in their car by themselves and go home and cry. Whereas I just cried on David's shoulder.
Right. And then not only that, also unlike a lot of starting out guys, you could just drive down the freeway for a few minutes and you were home.
Yep.
Where these guys are here from other places.
Right.
You know,
like most of
gotta
these
be
guys
tough. It's gotta be
moved
tough.
away from their families.
Dreams
miles away.
destroyed.
Yeah, they
Right.
just come here and they're just a dream crushed.
That's
Dude,
gotta
that's
be-
what Hollywood is, a huge dream crusher.
Yeah.
Because of all the gatekeepers and shit that love to tell you how bad you are at things.
Right.
But yeah, that was an interesting show. But what I loved was there was a guy at the bar.
That guy was weird.
There was this guy at the bar last night who's one of these guys that he's around all the time. Like I see him at LA shows a lot, but I've never really seen him do stand up. Almost like he's a groupie.
He's weird, dude.
And he's weird. And he gets drunk and he gets creepy with girls and stuff.
He got
But-
creepy with me.
Yeah, he got creepy with David. Tell him, what did he do?
Well,
Yeah,
first-
in what way?
First, I go to the restroom, and already I'm stoked because I'm the only one in there. That's
Right.
the best experience.
Yeah,
If you go
'cause
into,
you can just
I can't
bust
tell you how many
ass.
times I'll walk into a thing, and if it's just one person, sometimes I'm like, nope, can't do it. But I was all by myself, feeling good, and he came in, and all of a sudden started working out his bit on me about how
In the bathroom.
yeah, because the club, clubs are darker, and then you go in the bathroom and the lighting's like this, and
Super bright. yeah.
he was like, it should have stripper. He was just some hacky bullshit. But the whole time I'm like in the urinal, like, what? Hey, man.
Working out his bit.
Yeah, seriously.
That's a problem, by the way,
Is it?
in comedy clubs. It's a problem, especially with new comics. I'm going to talk to you guys, new comics. Stop working bits into normal conversations. It's the most annoying thing, and they're trying so hard to be funny,
Mhm.
And I'm like, and I want you guys to know that we don't like that. That's something we don't want to hear and we don't like. When we're just having a conversation and you're trying to work a bit into it, that's probably I'm never ever going to want to speak to you again. And a lot of these guys will try to be, and they're trying to make it like, oh, this is just how I talk, and this is the conversation.
Yeah.
But you know he's working a bit.
Yeah.
This
Guy he was working
So-
hard. And then after that, I hightailed it out of there. I was like, oh, cool, man. And then I left, and I went back to sit back back at the bar, and then he came up to me and started telling me something. But his face was touching my ear. Like I was literally going like this. And thank God Amir K was walking by.
Okay, he's great. He was on the show last night.
And right away pulls me, goes, whoa, Bo, you're way too close to this guy's ear, man. He just pulled the guy
That's
away
why-
from me. Thank
it's
God.
one of the things I love about Amir. He's just like such a real dude, and
Yeah.
he will not hold back.
No,
He's not
yeah.
going to censor himself, and I love that.
Yeah, and then Amir told me that he was then Amir told me what you said, that he's been there before, and he's he was obviously drunk,
And
but
he's always by himself.
apparently coked up a lot too.
Yeah.
So he's not a comic. He's just
I don't
some
know.
guy.
See, that's the thing in Los Angeles. You never know because there
Yeah,
are so
yeah.
many guys and girls trying to do this. It's probably the most since I've been doing stand up. The most people were like, I'll go to some smaller show, and it's the entire lineup is somebody I've never seen in my life, and this is an LA show. So this guy could be doing open mics and small shows. I mean, unless he's like a groupie or something, the fact that he's at the comedy club a lot and hanging out there tells me that he's trying to get into the scene and trying to do comedy. But he's doing nothing but rubbing people the wrong way. Amir K, by the way, when I said he doesn't hold back, he was one of the guys last night that was saying some funny shit about the room. He said, okay, this room should be bulldozed. They should just bulldoze this room.
that was pretty good.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I thought I got a kick out of that, but yeah, it was an interesting night. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, your set was great.
Thank you, David.
And John was really funny too. It's always good seeing him. Yeah.
John is one of my favorite comedians to watch. I told him that last night. I says, look, man, you're like one of my best friends, so I'm not just saying that because of this. Because of that, he is one of my favorite guys to watch because he is quirky, but he's so
Very.
quick.
Yeah.
And he's so funny, man. He says some of the funniest shit. I mean, some of the times we'll be having like serious conversations on the phone, and then he'll throw something in, and we both just lose it, laughing so hard on
That's
the phone.
funny. I like
So
that
hard.
kind of stuff.
But yeah, we were thinking about doing a podcast called So Sad and So Real. Because whenever we talk to each other, we're like, oh, so sad and so real. Just having so sad and so real with Campanelli and colleagues. But yeah, he's great. But yeah, that was a fun night. I always enjoy being at the Improv because you never know. You mean we got to hang out for a little bit with Craig Robinson last night, and
He told me that. Yeah, he told me the story about the
told you,
plane.
yeah.
That was fun.
Did I talk about that on this yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, you know how people say everybody's got a doppelganger in the world?
Yes.
Jay and I are biological twins, yes, but each of us, apparently, according to some people, have a doppelganger out
Right.
there. Well, Craig Robinson saw my brothers on a plane.
Uh-huh.
So Craig was
Thought
on
it was him.
So Craig, if you guys know Craig Robinson, The Office, he's on the new show, Killing It. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Craig comes, I was at the Laugh Factory the night. I was walking up to the front, and he was sitting in his car. He goes, Jason, I got a story I got to tell you, man. And I'm like, what's up, dude? He goes, okay, so I'm on a flight, and I'm sitting in first class. So I'm on the plane of course, Craig's sitting in first class, by the way. He says, so I'm on the plane while everybody's boarding, and you walked onto the plane. And you didn't say hi to me or notice me. So when you walked past, I shoved you from behind. And then you turned around, and it wasn't you. And he had to pull his phone out and say, bro, come here. I got to show you something. I thought you were someone else. And Craig Googled me and showed him. And the guy was like, oh, okay, I see it. But,
Either that or he was getting kicked off.
right.
quick.
He's like, yep. I'm like,
But
Craig's
didn't he
going to
have
get on
to,
a
like,
no
do the
fly
whole
list.
flight living with it?
No, I thought he did too. But last night he told me, he goes, no, I told him right away.
Oh, thank God.
And he goes, I even Googled a picture of you. But yeah, that's another cool thing about LA comedy and doing in like the Improv and store and stuff is you get to hang out and like just chop it up with guys that you were a fan of.
Yeah.
And I always forget, especially when my brother and his wife are with me, they're both huge Office fans. And I'm just talking to a buddy, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, sometimes it gets lost on me that I'm talking to this guy that's on this show that's in like back. But I thought your wife had met him,
No.
and she was just. We were all three talking. Me and my brother and my sister-in-law and Craig were just having a conversation, and I did notice at one point she was just cheesing it, grin, ear to ear grin the whole conversation.
Pretty cool.
But,
Pretty cool.
Was that the
You just
realization?
introduced me to him many, many years ago. So
yeah. And he's one of the few guys in the scene that always knows when it's you and not me.
exactly.
A lot of people
from day one.
immediately confuse us, but Craig's one of the guys. Craig, you know who else was one of those guys was Brody Stevens.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, Brody.
Yeah.
Brody always knew that it was you. Hey, Dave, how you doing? Right away.
Yeah.
And but yeah, a lot of guys are just because you know the stories about they think you're me and you're rude to them. But anyways, but yeah,
that's funny. Did we ever mention that on here? Did we mention that happened where comedian? Yeah, we probably did.
Yeah, we talked about that.
They think it's you being a dick.
Yeah, they think I'm they come up and they think they're talking to me and I'm talking to like I don't even know him. They're like, dude, he had an attitude the other day. And then I show up again and they're like, oh, now this guy's doing a fucking wardrobe change in the same night. Turns out it's my brother.
Who does he
He's
think
more
he
now
is?
because he's lost weight. Because remember, for years my brother was a good 20, 25 pounds heavier than me.
Yeah.
And now it's the opposite. He's about 15 to 20 lighter than
50
me.
pounds lighter. About that.
I've lost weight, dude.
No, you actually look better, dude.
I'm doing good. We on the last episode. we took our
That's
blood
another thing
pressure.
about last night.
Pressure's
Mr.
gone down.
Water and Sprite over here.
No Sprite at all.
Or whatever.
I was just
This
bottles
wasn't
of water and
alcohol.
ice
That was
water.
great.
No alcohol. And you notice when you guys ordered food, I did not.
Well, I tore it. Oop.
Improv has good food.
Yeah, man. I had the sliders.
They have the Improv has an Improv burger, and then they have an Impossible Improv burger, which
Yeah.
is not bad.
It's hard to eat. It's impossible to eat.
Not bad at all. But
What
yeah,
if that's why it was called the Impossible Burger, because it was like a break. You're like, it's impossible to eat.
you want the Impossible burger, you're gonna lose a ton of weight. Really? Yeah, because it's impossible to
And
eat.
teeth.
Oh God, and teeth. But yeah, that was a fun.
It was a good night. Yeah, I want to go out again soon now, because I
No.
usually don't want to.
And that's what we've been talking about. We're trying to get out because of this podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, Dave, you got to get out on the scene with me. We got to be seen together a lot more because we're the brand. I'm not the brand. We are the brand
Okay.
of Unidentical.
Right.
Right. I'm the guy that does stand up every night, but we're the brand of this pod. So I'm like, we got to get David out. And of
So
course, now
weird.
people are like, is your brother going to do stand up?
Right.
But that's
Well,
a
I
compliment.
imagine that's
by
not the first time they've asked you that, though.
No.
You probably get asked that every night.
Usually they ask, "Do I do it?"
Got it.
Whenever, now they're starting. Now because of this, they're going, "Are you going to?" Because most of the guys, he's been around forever. No, I don't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but usually people would say, "Do you do it?" No, I don't.
I was wondering the other day. I was thinking about it.
do it?
Would you?
Maybe. You know what would be fun is if we can, if we can get this thing to grow in some way and
Tour?
maybe I would do it as I would completely be actually into it and completely comfortable with going up on a stage as Unidentical Pod
Right.
with you.
Doing the
which
live
would be,
podcast.
that would be fun. Yeah. How am I doing, guys? Am I getting better? What? How many in? 8?
Yeah. This.
Oh, you're asking?
Yeah. Am I doing? If I feel
Oh, I
Am
mean,
I-
you're definitely getting better. I don't have to adjust your volume as much.
because I watched I'll
I
watch.
know, right?
I know. I
My
watched.
brother used to talk like this.
Yeah.
I was very delicious
yes.
dish.
No.
Remember?
Maybe.
Today, we're going to talk about sorghum. So yeah, I think you're getting better.
Good.
It's not about getting better. You weren't worse, better. It's more comfortable.
Yeah.
That's
That's,
what I mean.
exactly it.
That's what I
You're
mean.
you're more comfortable. You're figuring out how to talk on a microphone,
I'm comf.
which comes with
Okay,
watching
that
it.
word is too close to being something
Comfy.
vulgar.
Comf.
That's why a lot of people when they do podcasts they wear headphones so they can hear what they sound like. I can't stand that at all.
Well, I have all those weird things that I don't want to hear that stuff. You
You
know,
do
I don't
have-
want to hear my
You definitely had a lot of weird things.
like that. What's that called? What's that thing called that people listen to? The sounds. The
Oh,
ASMR?
yeah, something like that.
How does that that would give me more anxiety than anything else if I had to
There's
just
so many things that I
listen
want
to someone going. And people get like relaxed.
Dude, let's do an ASMR episode. Go. You do that. Hey guys, welcome to the Unidentical Pod. We're just gonna hear.
That's not a bottle of water. It's a crackling fire. You know what'd be fucked up is to get everybody all sucked in. All right, and relax.
Those things, yeah, I can't say that. I see so many things online that I want to send you, but I know how you are about those kind of mouth noises. And
Oh, I'll
shit.
throw my phone out the
Yeah,
window.
but usually it's a gorilla eating
That okay?
like
why is it-
super close up.
Yeah. See, why is it that I don't want to hear people eat anything?
But if
But
it's
when my my Charchi Char cat,
That's
my
his
little
cat.
Charlie, when she eats her crunchy food, I want to hear it all day. She's just like,
Yeah, I've been
she's the best.
I want to go to the LA Zoo very soon because I want to see gorillas. I've been following gorillas. And
Dude, you've
there's-
been on a monkey kick too.
Oh man, for a long time I still kind of want a spider monkey. Remember what I was going to name him?
Yeah. No.
Dr. Wizenthorpe. I was
Right.
going to get a spider monkey and name him Dr. Wizenthorpe and call
Right.
him Wiz for
Mhm.
short and live with him and be best friends with him. But guess what monkeys do? Anything with teeth. Guess what they do? Bite.
And don't they throw shit at you?
They
Yeah, I
bite.
was gonna say, don't they
I don't know
crap
about
everywhere?
monkeys. Apes might.
poo.
One of the differences between monkey and an ape is monkeys have tails
Right.
and apes do not. And monkeys are cute and cuddly. And apes can rip your fucking arms out of the socket. Like what did Han Solo say about Chewie?
Yeah. That Chewie's probably an ape of some.
Yeah.
He's an ape from a.
Because he doesn't have a tail. And he goes. Did I do it right?
Yeah, man. I can't do that.
But yeah,
Dude, that sounded cool.
all right, dork.
That was good.
Yeah, but I've been on a gorilla kick. Like I love it when they get up on their two legs and walk. I think it's great.
They're all like.
I love it. I love it when they're just being them. But you know what's the most annoying is you see them. Then these videos come up of people trying to like be with them in the wild, and it's always white people. It's always white people that are like, let's go be with them. They can kill you. They literally can rip your face off. They're like, and they're always like, when they get close up, I'm like, you're dumb. And you could always see that the African guides, they're always far back, like,
Yeah.
this shit, right?
I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, they'll grab them and pull them and like pull them and shit, and they just think it's so fun. It's like that is,
My
hey, white people, stop. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. Stop fucking around with wild animals.
Yeah.
You know what? White people are the only people that look at an orca whale and go, "We should ride it. We should ride around on it." And then they
It's our
wonder.
Uber.
Then whale Ubers are the best. And then they wonder why once we put these guys in captivity, they're grabbing their trainers and pulling them underwater and killing them and shit. Because you know when they're little
killer whales
they
for a
do that.
reason.
Yeah, they're called killer whales. Do you know that there are zero? And you could probably try to Google this.
All right.
There are 0 incidents of an orca whale killing a human in the wild, and there are tons of them doing it in captivity.
Yeah.
Because they're
I'll
like,
tell you something.
get me the fuck out of here.
You remember Blackfish?
Blackfish was great.
And that whale was basically a serial killer.
Yeah,
It was
Tilikum.
cool.
Tilikum was a serial killer, and Tilikum would still they would like put him in timeout or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You killed another Caucasian, timeout. And then they would let him out. He would get paroled and he'd be back doing shows and shit
The one
at
that,
another place, and then he'd be like, "All right, guess I'm gonna kill you motherfuckers too."
the one thing he did that was coconuts is when he killed a guy and then put him on his back
Ooh,
and swam
yeah.
around to show everybody.
All right, wait. This is real.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
there's
It's
a
called Blackfish.
there's a documentary called Blackfish. You gotta watch it.
Mhm.
It was huge a couple years ago, a few years back, and it was all over social media. And it's this whale named Tilikum who literally was a serial killer. He killed so many people, and at this one point, he killed one of the trainers. Then threw there it is. Then threw it, and it's not. Hey, listen, guys, this isn't racial. Okay, it's not. But he threw one of his victims on his back and just started swimming around the aquarium with him, like showing it off, like, look what I did to yo, motherfucker.
So kids are screaming and everything. Oh my God, that
man.
must have been funny.
There's one where there's this one that freaks me out, where he grabs the guy by his foot and pulls him underwater and holds him underwater, and it's almost like he's like fucking with the guy.
Yeah.
Because right when the guy's about to drown, he'll bring him up to the surface and let him get air. He gets a few big breaths in, and then, you know, the Hannibal Lecter of whales pulls him back down into the water and holds him.
Oh, like
know,
cats play
yeah.
with their food.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh
"This is how
my
we do
God.
it." And they
Did I just do that?
I think you did.
That's terrifying.
Haunted.
But yeah,
It's
we,
still October.
I've been, yeah, but white people, man, we got to stop. Stop.
You know what's been going through my feed lately is people fighting kangaroos. I don't know why. It's
Kangaroos can
But
scrap.
do you see how
ripped.
buff those things
Yeah.
are?
Yeah.
Oh my
ripped.
God.
And they move like black belts. You see the one where the kangaroo was attacking the guy's dog and the guy ran up on him and like
Yeah,
clocked
and
him like a dude. Like
Right.
he was like his bop and hit him,
Yeah.
and the kangaroo was like, he was literally like, "This isn't how this usually fucking goes down."
Right,
yeah,
And
yeah.
the dog got away, but like the dude like got in a
Swear, yeah.
stance and whap, gave him a good little right cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And the
they're all
kangaroo
ripped.
was like, and his arms went like this. He's like, "What are you doing, man?"
Yeah, you
But
saw that muscle. That was amazing.
Those
I
things
didn't
are
realize they were
ripped.
that
Yeah.
that powerful. Wow.
The thing that is scary is the strength of their tails.
Oh, okay.
Those things will fuck you up. It's like an alligator. It's another thing you see white people on. Hey, that alligator can do what? Fuck it. I'm wrestling with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Bears?
Bear,
Bear wrestling? Let's wrestle, bear. Like, it's a bear. You're disrespecting it, number one. Because the bear, I know the bear the whole time's going, all right, but you know what I can actually fucking do to you, right? Bears are known to scalp
Sometimes they
humans. They're known to like scalp a human and take their whole
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
scalp off their head. But with these white guys, we're going to wrestle that motherfucker. We're going to show him who's at the top of the food chain.
I remember seeing a viral video from years ago where a guy had a bear on a talk show, and the
Yep.
guy was in a karate uniform.
Yep.
And then the bear went after the chick, and the guy started like chopping it or something. Like,
Starts chopping the bear and kick. So the host of the show, the bear was literally, and the bear did it like so smooth too. He just kind of went, and just started fucking the girl
Yeah.
up. And then the karate guy starts chopping
My
the
man
bear.
was like,
"Hiya,
hiya, hiya.
hey man, it's a bear. It's a big bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, white people love to fuck with the wild. They like to mess with. They like to blur the lines when it comes to those.
Yeah. I follow a puma online.
See, that's I am Puma.
That guy,
That
it's
thing
so
is different
lovable.
though. It's domesticated. That guy's been raising
Yeah.
it since it was a kid.
And you know,
it
pumas
does
aren't,
have
aren't big cats. Technically, are not big cats. You know what? You
that
know
thing.
what
It's a very big cat. What do you mean?
well, no,
he,
no,
he says technically not.
Like in the big cat family?
yeah.
What is it in? Is it like a house
Wildcat?
cat?
Wildcat? No, no. What the big cat? What from? In correct me if I'm wrong. I could be very wrong, but I believe what distinguishes big cats from other cats is their ability to roar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So little, like if it goes, wow.
That if you notice the puma, he does
always
that.
goes, wow.
He goes like that. Yeah, but that a tiger or a lion and those guys can roar.
Yeah. And and it loves its owner, but like, and also there's an instinct in these big cats.
Because they also have a cheetah.
That's another thing why people do it at the circus. You know where we should put our head?
in the lion's
Lion's mouth.
Yeah.
You know what? If here's how much it bothers me. If I went to a circus and the guy put his head in the lion's mouth, and the lion bit down, I'd cheer. I would go, yes, good job, lion.
I would have the
Because
lion
that
put its head
idiot
in my
was being
mouth.
so disrespectful. Because it's like they'll eat us.
Why do
And
you
it's
use
like-
the word disrespectful?
They're
Explain
disrespecting
that.
the disrespecting the lion because lions will eat us. If in the wild we're lion food, and if you were hungry and I took a freaking prime rib and just stuck it in your mouth, but you can't eat it, and then pulled it out, that's
Gotcha.
disrespectful as shit.
Right.
You're teasing him. You're teasing him.
Yeah.
White people do
Swear-
weird shit.
Might as well be wearing ketchup cologne at that point. You know what I mean? Just, hey, lion.
Ooh, what cologne are you wearing? It's Heinz.
Frenches.
But yeah, I've noticed that whenever I go onto those, because I love gorillas, but I love monkeys, but I love
I love gorillas.
I love gorillas, dude, and I love them because I like observing their like how wise they look and how they're just kind of very human like. However, I have this gene that most white people don't have, where I go, I'm going to observe this from behind the YouTube screen,
Yeah.
or I'm going to go to the zoo and watch it from behind the glass.
Dude, I've seen videos of lions. You were saying the tour guide guys that were staying back. I saw one where one of those tour guide guys got grabbed and pulled into the bush by a lion.
And he was never seen again.
Nope.
And guess what?
I mean, I never saw it again. It might
And it
still
was
be
one
in
of
my-
the- it was
might
one of
still be in
the-
my viewing history. But
And it was one of the guides, like one of the guys that was taking them on the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
All right. I found this thing and
Okay, let's watch
it's just
it.
making
boy.
me laugh.
Oh, that's
the
the
one.
one.
yeah, right. Here we
this
go,
out, guys.
Here we go. We'll do the
Look at him. First of all, what is it? Purple belt?
I got it.
Why did it stop?
Oh, do it again.
It was just short. I think
Oh,
it's
that's
like a
so
meme
great.
type
But look
thing.
at this
again.
poor lady. She's just so unsuspecting. She thinks, oh, he's wearing a belt. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's a fucking bear. Here we go.
Go.
Oh, okay.
I want to see this like 5 times.
Because she's gone from smile to food in like a second.
Let's see replay. Here we go.
And everything's fine. Wonderful. Things are great. Oh, there's food over here? All right, I'll take it.
Go.
And, ooh, food. chop, chop, chop. Oh, man, that's hilarious.
I know that technique.
That's
It's called
the
bear
chopping. That
See-
makes me laugh.
And when you look at that, you can't think, oh, that's rare. That won't happen. That in my mind, I'm like, that's probably going to happen every time.
You know what I think though? I mean, he's feeding this bear in such close proximity to another existing being. I think that bear looked over,
food.
saw her, and went, "Oh, you ain't getting my food."
Yeah,
And
he's like,
was-
thanks for the appetizer. I'm gonna hit the
Yeah.
main course.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
thinking he was saying, "You're
Yeah.
not getting my food."
I
Getting
think
my
he's protecting
food.
his
Yeah.
You're saying he was going for the second course.
Could be.
Got it.
Yeah. He was probably like, this is my food. And then he was like, oh, wait. Yum, 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 yum. You know?
And he was like, yeah, chop, 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 chop.
Oh, the guy chopping was the best.
And it's called Karate Guy.
It's called.
Yeah, I love it. And I don't even think he was a black belt. And he
There-
didn't have it tied right.
You can go down a rabbit hole of martial arts videos on YouTube that are fucking hilarious.
Dude, oh,
Like these
man.
guys that have this art where they just stand still. And when the guy comes at them, they just kind of go like a little
let's do it.
move.
Ready?
And the guy
Ready?
flips over and
Let's
shit.
do it. Ready? I'm going to come get you. Here we go.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Or,
One more time.
or it's just my mind. Don't even touch me. Just come at me. You know what I mean? Like,
Man, that was good.
dude, and they take themselves so seriously. And then my favorite is you get like a Tai Chi. There's one where there's this Tai Chi master that gets his ass handed to him by
Oh, the MMA
fighter.
thing. Yeah.
And now apparently a bunch of people in was it Tai Chi? A bunch of people wherever that country is were super upset because it was very disrespectful to the Tai Chi master. But I'm like, the Tai Chi master got in the ring with that guy.
yeah, and looked like before the fight, he looked like he was talking crap to him too.
Yeah. There's another guy though that's like a Shaolin monk dude who goes into these MMA fights. It's unbelievable. He just goes in there and when the guy starts punching, he just looks down so where they punch the top of his head and it doesn't faze him at all.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Does he
But those
win?
guys are also the guys that like they'll put like the rattan the spears with the
Yeah.
rattan thing, and they'll put it on the ground and put the spearhead in their throat like that, and then just lean forward until the spear snaps.
And if you know anything about rattan, very strong. Very, very strong. Also, they do it with rebarb.
Oh.
And they just go,
Is it rebarb
but I'm thinking, how?
or rebar?
Rebar. I'm thinking, how? I mean, they're going to be great if they get attacked by rebar. Like, it's like,
Right.
it's almost like that old Mad TV meme where you see
rebarbra.
there's this karate class happening in the illustration, and outside the window you see this UFO landing, and the aliens come out as brick walls.
And boards. They're all brick walls and boards.
And the guys in the garage also go like, finally, we get
Yeah,
to test our skills.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
I think I had that comic strip up when I had my academy with Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my brother and I, you know, throughout our martial arts career, we were always very realistic. We would always say, this move that I'm teaching you isn't a defense technique. This is a body coordination exercise. Because before you learn how to fight, you got to learn how to walk. You know, you got to know your ass from your elbow. So we would teach a lot of things that require balance. But then we would put gloves on people and have them fight in like real life situations and shit. But then we would go to these martial arts tournaments, and I always thought that the breaking division was ridiculous because inevitably somebody fucked up and didn't break anything and broke themselves, which was always hilarious. There's a bunch of videos online about that. And then they would do things to fool us. Like, if you remember when they would stack the bricks, but they would put pencils between each one with the space?
So easy.
That space makes it easier to break. Also, they would do that thing where like, now I'm going to set it on fire. Not understanding that the layman doesn't understand that the fire makes it more brittle.
Right, it weakens it.
It's
yeah.
a lot more brittle that
That's
way.
funny.
Then the guys that do it with their head, and then there's those monk guys that hang heavy shit from their nuts. And I'm like, that's going to help in a fight. That's going to definitely help in a fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, inevitably there's
person
always a guy.
hanging under there.
We knew a guy that was just the goofiest son of a bitch you've ever met. And he would always, the family.
Oh, right. Yeah,
It was a family, and they owned a martial arts school here in Long Beach, and it was fucking hilarious. And this guy was big time into breaking, and he never won because he never broke the stuff. And it always made me laugh hysterically when I got alone. And it was just so many one try after another. And it's like, why? What are you doing, man? Also, the human body is so much softer than a brick. Just punch in soft spots. Punch the throat. Punch the solar plex. Punch the balls.
With the bulls.
But don't go in. You always got to go up on the balls. Never in, always up on the balls.
Do either of you guys still do karate, jiu-jitsu? What is that you talk?
I teach a couple guys.
Really?
Kind of just guys who've been with me for over 20 years. We just kind of go over stuff here and there. But
I haven't done
Yeah.
any kind of training in the last probably 15 years.
There's some water over
But I watched my brother. Where?
there. The curtain.
yeah, I teach that
Behind
ass
the
and elbow
curtain.
class that Jay talked about.
Behind the
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the yellow belt test. We got a guy up there, and Jay just points at the elbow, and the class goes elbow, and then he points at the ass, and then he handed out yellow belt.
They learn. But yeah, I haven't done it in so long. Like I said before, though, I like my youngest son, Jonathan. He's training heavily in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu right now. He's
Tough as shit.
working on his purple belt right now, and he's tough as shit, and he's big and scary, and like we would get in arguments, and I talk to my friends about it. They're like, why don't you just put him in his place? I'm like, have you seen him lately?
Yeah,
He's 28, and I'm 52 and can barely walk across the room.
Yeah, his place is like 5 of my place.
Yeah. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, dude, he's tough.
Tough
So
as nails.
that's the new self-defense. I'll just call my nephew.
Yeah.
Can you take care of this guy for me?
He would too, man.
Yeah.
He would. We've been out places together where somebody kind of steps a little too hard, and John was like, "What's this fucking guy doing?"
Right. Yeah.
And then he'll yell at me if I get myself in a situation where, Dad, that was 100% your fault.
Yeah. Usually.
Like especially road raging in the car. Let's go fuck him up. John, Dad, that was your fault. You did that. Oh, okay. I see whose back you got. You guys, you want to go visit the gorillas?
So you don't. I just got back to what we were doing, gorillas and stuff, but monkeys. You don't want one anymore?
Of course I want one.
Oh, okay.
I want a spider monkey.
Are they legal to have as pets?
No.
Not at all.
You have to be a rescue.
You are a rescue. You rescued Bella.
Well, I'm the Innocence Project for French Bulldogs. I don't know if you knew that. You know, Innocence
That's
Project.
pretty specific.
You know the guys that they get off death row and they prove that they're innocent. I did that for my
Yeah, he
7-year-old.
does that for us.
You've never heard this story?
No.
Okay, so
Wait, who's on death row?
My dog was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
Bella, my wife saw her on Instagram and said, we got to get this dog. And I was like, all right. So I go to the shelter to get her. And when I asked where she was and showed them the picture, they're like, oh, that dog's not available. They're not releasing that dog to the public. And I'm like, why? They're like, well, she has a bite on her record. She apparently bit a child and now she's kind of quarantined. And I'm like, okay, so then what? She goes, well, a rescue has to come along and pull her from here. And then you can get her from the rescue. And I was like, let's do it. He goes, the problem is it's a financial liability because of the bite on her record for the rescue to do that. So they may not, because apparently it costs them thousands of dollars per dog to keep, because the rescue won't kill it.
Right.
They'll just keep it, but it costs them a lot of money
Yeah.
a year to do that. And with a dog with a bite on its record, for example, if I said, I'll take her, it's fine, and I went home with her, and then she bit me, and I bring her back to the rescue, they're going to have to just keep her now. Right? So the guy at the shelter said it's a financial liability for them. So probably
So they
won't
don't.
happen.
Yeah.
So
they
I
don't
so
take
I
that
asked him,
chance.
well, then what? He goes, they're going to probably put her down. And I hate that term. What do you mean put her down? Put her to sleep. And I hate that term too, because I go to sleep every night and then wake up the next day. So they're going to kill her. So I did a bunch of research and it took me like a month and I figured out how to make myself the rescue. I signed this paperwork
Oh wow.
that made me a rescue and I was able to go physically pull her from there myself. And we've had 0 incidents with biting. And I figured out what it was. She's an aggressive kisser. Like she gets excited kissing.
Yeah.
And will open her mouth and nip in a loving way, not like
Yo, it's
mean.
affectionate for sure.
Right.
Mm.
I mean, she snapped at me once after a surgery, but it was because she was tender and I touched the wrong
Yeah. She's
area.
mean.
But that's
Absolutely.
any dog would do that.
Of course.
I didn't get hurt in the process or anything. But for the last year, because I've had her for July, it was a year. So I've had her over a year now, and she's just completely acclimated. She's the sweetest dog, and
She's awesome.
I couldn't even imagine not having her.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, so I rescued her from the Innocence Project for Frenchies. If you guys ever need me to come and fight for your dog's life, I'm available. It's going to cost you thousands upon thousands of dollars, but I will do it because I care.
Yeah.
You know those people that advertise how much they care, and they're like, my fee is $65,000. But yeah, so now I have the 2 French Bulldogs because I already had one for 8 years before that, Bugsy. So now I have both of them. I have their babies.
The Buggos.
Oh wow.
The Doties.
Those are my babies. That was me. They were watching football with me in that picture. We were sitting on the couch watching the Rams win. Go Rams. Go fucking Rams.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lately, when the Rams win, it seems like.
All right, here we go.
Come on.
That was a good win.
It was a good win, but then
I mean, they win.
are they going to do it next week?
Yes.
That's what. you're
That's what
thinking.
fans were hoping for.
Yeah.
You ask a fan that, we're like, yeah, we're going to do it next week. But you got to remember, because we got Cooper Kupp back,
Right. He
Cooper's
scored.
back.
Yeah, he scored too.
and he's killing it. And then now you have Acuna.
Hakuna Matata. Yep.
Yep, Acuna Matata on the team, and it means no worries for the rest of the game. But so now we got those guys. Of course, Donald's a monster, and Stafford's looking pretty good. And that last game, it was a good win because you remember we went into the half behind.
Yeah.
You're not a fan?
No. I grew up with the Rams. I told you my mom was
Oh,
John Robinson's secretary
Right.
with the Rams, and so we grew up with him. I just like this year. It just seems like I just want to see the consistency.
Yeah,
You know, I want to.
and we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, the consistent good practices and things like that.
I think David and I may be going to the Seahawks when they play the Seahawks at home in November.
Okay.
Yeah, we might go to that game.
Yeah, I've never been to SoFi.
Great stadium. Looks like a spaceship. Remember last night when we were driving home? Dave's like, I don't see it. And I think it's like a trick
It was
because
too-
it's so massive.
Exactly.
You're like, that can't be it. That's
Unexpected to
something
be
else.
that big.
Yeah.
And now they're building that other spaceship next to it for the Clippers. Have you seen that?
No.
They're building a new Clipper arena that looks like a freaking spaceship as well. So you got like 2 UFOs sitting next to the Forum now in Inglewood. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
And the outside area of SoFi with the big fountain and stuff is really cool looking. Did you see it?
Looking forward to getting over there.
No. I'm seeing if I can pull up a Google real life thing
of where the Clipper thingy is.
of where the stadium is. Yeah.
Yep, it's right there next to Hollywood Park Casino. You got SoFi, Hollywood Park Casino. You got the Forum, and now they got this arena going up for the
Sounds
Clippers.
like a weird reality show. Google real life.
It is a weird reality.
I
And
think
it's just
the shot
their
is
office.
Just boring as shit. On this episode, they type. Did you find it?
Let's see. Yeah, but I think this shot is old though, because it shows
Yeah,
it
well, if
shows
you-
SoFi,
Yeah, there's SoFi.
and then I see the
There's
Forum.
the Forum.
Right
If you go
here.
down,
Uh-huh.
go the other direction, you see there's Hollywood Park. See that
Right.
empty lot?
Oh, right here.
there? Yeah.
Yeah, in the middle. Yeah.
That's where it's going.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you Google Clippers new stadium, it'll show you some renderings.
Okay.
But it looks like that now. It's almost fully built.
Wow.
Yeah, it looked cool.
It's
It looked cool.
really cool looking.
Okay.
Really, really cool looking.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as Clippers fans. So
I mean, there could be if they get their own. It's like Chargers fans and
yeah, both
kind of the same
teams
thing.
that came from San Diego.
right, and they are both teams that are sharing their home field with like the team that everybody actually loves.
Right.
You know, I heard there's plans for a Chargers stadium here as well.
I don't know that. I know originally, it was going to be either the Raiders and Chargers in Carson,
Mm.
or the Rams and Chargers in Inglewood.
Because for a while the
and
Chargers
they won.
were playing it.
Yeah, and that
Home
was
Depot
just
Center.
that was temporary, right?
And it's such a and it was
It was an intimate experience.
They called it a boutique stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ever looked at the ticket prices at that time, holy shit, they were making up for the small stadium by charging triple for tickets. It was expensive.
Well,
Saying
you know
kinda
why they
sell
were
it as
charging
up
so much
close.
though? Because the Chargers didn't have a fan base,
Mm-mm.
and so the stadium would be filled with all the crowds from the other team.
Right.
Yeah, so I went to a Miami game. It's like you might as well have been in Miami.
Did you go to you went to the Home Depot?
Yeah, the first
Oh, how
one.
was it? What was it like? Did it feel small?
Yeah, it felt small. You felt it's like a high school. It felt like a high school game. I mean, it just feels intimate.
That's
But
funny.
I think anytime you go to any kind of experience like that, like even you go to a big concert, you start to feel that intimacy with all the
Right.
people around you or whatever. But
That's so cool.
it did feel small.
Because SoFi is huge. I mean that aerial shot, and whenever I'm on the road, I always make sure to sit on the right side of the plane when I'm coming home
Mhm.
because I want to see it when we fly in, and it's just massive, and it has moving pictures on the ceiling,
Yeah.
on the
Oh, it
on the
does.
roof of it. Like there's animated advertisements and stuff happening, and
Yeah.
when you fly in, it's pretty cool.
Remember that. Saw
Pretty
that.
cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to a game. I haven't gone to anything at SoFi yet, and it just a lot of my friends haven't. It looks a lot of fun. Some buddies of mine went and saw Red Hot Chili Peppers there, and they said it was incredible.
Right.
And a bunch of my friends are going to Rams games. I got a couple buddies that I don't know how they do it, but they're on the field. They're comics. They're well-known comics and podcasters.
Well,
and they're
wait.
on
You said the operative word is buddies. How come you're not getting in on that?
I know, that's what I'm saying. You know what? Acquaintances.
They've been downgraded.
You're downgraded, pals. Pals o' mine.
Colleagues.
I wish. Colleagues.
Last time I saw the Rams live was at the Coliseum.
Yeah, same. Me and
I liked going to games there though. It was fun.
whenever they play the Raiders preseason, my buddy Aurelio Bocanegra on Instagram, I believe he's IB something. Oh, anyways, Aurelio Bocanegra, he's a really funny comic, and he's one of my best friends in the game. Him and I would go together because he's a big Raiders fan, and I'm a big Rams fan, and we would wear the things. And dude, the last time I went to one of those, the tailgates were very even. Usually it's just Raider Nation.
Yeah.
But they were being nice and like hanging together and stuff. But yeah,
That's cool.
a lot of those, there's certain games you go to and you feel like you're at the home game for the other team.
Right.
And you know what looked like that and felt like that when I was watching it was when they played the Niners the last time at SoFi.
Yeah.
There were so many 49er fans.
Yeah, especially now they're starting to develop that rivalry.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's always been a rivalry. And they've been our bugaboo forever. We
Yeah,
cannot seem to
yeah.
beat those
It's
guys.
Annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a funny memory of Coliseum just now
What?
with you.
Mm.
We went to I think it was you, me, and a couple of our buddies went to a SC game there.
Yeah. To see, they played Washington, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. And do you remember like the night before you were out or something and you saw a band and you had been making fun of the band, and the band sang a song called "What in the Name of Love,"
I can't.
and you spotted the singer up a few rows ahead of us. So every time a big play would happen, Jay would scream, "What in the name of love?" And this poor guy would just be like, "What the?" It was
Fans.
So, Eddie, you did it like 10 times. It was so funny.
What a,
dude.
It was a high scoring game then.
what a jerk. We went to remember when we went to the Lowrider show? At the
Yeah,
Coliseum?
that was fun.
We saw Easy E right before he passed away.
Well, we saw him at Hofstra.
And we didn't see him performing. He was just there hanging out.
Right.
But yeah,
Remember we saw him that night at the restaurant
That's
by our
right,
house.
like, what is he doing in Long Beach?
No, sorry.
You know what we forgot to do today? Creepy story.
Oh, okay.
Spooky. We could do one real quick. You want to do a spooky spookies?
You have one?
Sure.
Remember, you tell it, the Queen Mary stuff.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so the Queen Mary in Long Beach, Galiva, Long Beach is supposed to be one of the most haunted places,
Yeah.
ever. And
If you don't know, real quick, the Queen Mary is an old ship. It's about 150 feet longer than the Titanic was, and it has that same look. But it's it's now a hotel. It's not in. I don't think it's in operation right now, but for years it was a hotel that
it's going to be though.
they're going to bring it back.
They're redoing it right now. It's a hotel and
But it's an
also
old
a
ship.
museum, but
Yeah.
kind of a museum as well. But they also have like the Halloween haunts
Yeah,
there
they
and
do.
things. And but
Shacktoberfest is right outside of it.
Yeah.
yeah, that thing. We were there one night, not for a Halloween thing. This was just at a normal time of night before they did any of that stuff. And it had to be early 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
But there was a time where they would let people come on and just walk around the ship and just hang out.
For free.
Yeah, and we did that at night, and there was hardly anybody there. And near the stern of the boat is where a wedding chapel is.
Mhm.
Okay, but when the boat was in operation, it was a cigar lounge.
And Sir Winston Churchill was on the ship a lot, and he was a big cigar guy.
Right. And we were on I think it's called the promenade deck, and it had
Observation?
the open windows like that. They're all covered in glass now, but back then you could just kind of lean out of them, and
Right.
you know. And so I was leaning out, looking down the side of the ship, at the hull of the ship, and I smelled cigars. I was like, oh, cool, someone's smoking cigars, because I always liked that smell. And I turned like this, and again, mind you, I'm leaning outside the window, and I turned to look over here, and from here in the other window, a cone of smoke came out like it was being blown out, right? I was like, oh, he's right there. So when I leaned back to see who it was, there was nobody there. Yeah.
Yo, dude.
Yeah,
it's real, Solo Man.
Oh, I spent the night on that ship.
And did you hear all the loud bangs in the middle of the night? Mom and Dad
It
spent the
was
night there.
worse. So my wife gets up. She goes, "I'm gonna go to the bar and get a drink." Right. So she goes down the hall, and she sort of lost her way. So she's asking. So she sees a guy in a uniform, and she asks him, "Hey, where's the bar?" And he points to a certain direction. Right. So she goes down there, and there's no bar. So she comes back the other way. I think she finally finds the bar, and she asks the guy there. She's like, "Well, some guy, told me the bar was over here." And what did he look like? Well, he was wearing a uniform, sort of like the
Yo.
ship thing, right? And the guy's like, "Well, the bar used to be over there when the ship was in operation, and there's no guy in a uniform on this ship at all."
We saw that same guy. Me
Yeah.
and my mom and my brother. I think Jonathan was with us too.
Wow.
And he kind of walked out, and we just thought, oh, he's dressed for work.
Right.
And then we went to where he went in, and there was nothing. There,
Yeah.
nothing there. A buddy of mine, David Sullivan, very good actor. You guys have seen him in so many things. He was on what was his show on Netflix where they with our buddy Arnett.
With Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Arnett, that was called Flaked.
Yeah, there was
Good
a
show.
2 seasons on Flaked. He was the lead. David Sullivan. He was great actor, but he's been on a bunch of shit. But his son wanted to go onto the Queen Mary, so Dave called me and said, "Hey, we're gonna go to the Queen Mary. We're gonna be in Long Beach. You want to come?" And I'm like, "All right." And there's a room on the Queen Mary that they don't ever use. They took the number off it's just always locked and no one uses it anymore. And apparently something bad happened in there. So we found that room, and David and I went up to the door, and he looked through the peephole, which is it's reverse. You can't see in that way.
Sure.
But you could see blurry stuff. He sees something move, and he goes, "I think I see something moving in there." I go, "No, you didn't." And as soon as he backs off the door, someone just kicked the door from the inside. Just boom. And we jumped like little girls, man, and we kept it moving.
Booked it.
But yeah, when my parents spent the night on there, because you hear those about the sounds, the loud banging in the middle of the night, like people are working, and my mom said all night they were hearing that when they spent because they went there for their anniversary once,
Right?
And so if you ever want to see, and it's probably they say it's one of the most haunted places, at least on the West Coast. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is it's not a fun, creepy, scary. It's a nauseating, creepy.
Yeah,
scary. Like
it's
you
like-
don't want to be on there.
It's too real.
Yeah.
Because during the war, during World War II, it was a troop transport,
Right.
and it literally hit another ship and cut it in half.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it hit another ship and ripped it in half, but kept going.
Wow.
Right, and apparently, when you're in the front of the ship in the hall, sometimes you can hear men screaming because it killed a bunch of people.
It's a nautical hit and run.
Yeah, they have a Halloween tour that you used to be able to go on, which they put up fake stuff and like.
Right.
The creepiest place though on the ship was the pool.
Yeah.
They did this, and they did this thing on the Halloween tour where they used special effects and stuff
Yeah.
to make it creepier, and they filled it with fog. They filled it, and then they did this thing where you can see footprints walking in the water. And
Yeah, that was
stuff.
pretty good because that's one of the old stories. So they just kind of recreated.
Yeah, apparently there's some
It's
kid
a little
ghost.
girl. Yeah.
There's a little girl ghost at the pool. Ooh, I'm getting scared. Don't like it. I'm a big
Jelly
when it comes.
beans.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm getting the jelly beans.
Well, the engine room was
All
scary
right.
too, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, kids. I think we did a podcast. Again, thank you so much for the listeners and the viewers for the support. Make sure you continue to rate and review. Rate and review, leave comments
Tell people.
wherever it is that you download your podcast, whether it's Google, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, wherever it is. Make sure you give us a rating, review, subscribe to it, follow it, or whatever it is you do on that app. And of course, YouTube. Make sure you like it, subscribe to it, and hit the notification bell. And leave us send us an email. Thanks for joining us, guys. Happy Halloween. As always, Jason Collings
David Collins.
and super producer Solo Man. All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Later.
I'm not